Nothing changes here, guys. This is the broken record in me. Why do you want to own a business? What's the goal? Setting the expectation. There's an investment. There's risk. It's the attitude of this is going to work. End of story. No plan B. You're going to make this work. And then at the end of the day, you are the driver. You're behind the driver's seat. You're steering that car, that vehicle, and that decision is up to you.
Welcome to the Franchise Freedom Podcast, where you can escape the corporate trap through franchise ownership. Here's your host, Giuseppe Grammatico, the Franchise Guide.
Welcome to the Franchise Freedom Podcast. I'm your host, Giuseppe Grammatico, your franchise guide, the show where we help corporate executives experience time and financial freedom. Thanks for joining us today. We're ending the series here with our 5th episode. We're calling it What I've Learned Helping Hundreds Explore Franchise Ownership. A lot of reoccurring themes here, patterns that I wanted to share with you today. So thanks again for joining us today. We gather this feedback and these questions from our daily calls, from the comments, DMs, emails, you name it. We check and we respond to them all. If we never get a response from us, let us know. Sometimes we miss them. We're not perfect. And that's something I monitor on a daily basis. What have I learned helping hundreds of people over the years? Wow, it's been 20 years of helping people in franchise ownership, close to 20 years now. And yeah, there's some reoccurring themes, and sometimes I sound like a broken record, but wanted to cover these themes and open to doing a deeper dive for anyone that wants to really avoid these pitfalls and these patterns and really kind of figure out if a franchise is the right fit. All right, first one, why most people wait too long. Just listened to an interview, IFA president. They said out of 75% of people that they've interviewed at some point or have been interested in starting or owning a business, of that group of people, of that 75% of the 75%, that makes sense, said what was the reason? They didn't know where to start. And in this day and age, you would think that would not be an issue with the internet, with the amount of information out there. And it's kind of, why do people wait too long? They don't know where to start. And they don't know where to start. They think it costs millions of dollars. There's all these misconceptions. It's all fast food. They want to explore other areas, and that's all that franchise offers them. So it's really getting clear on, why do you want to own a business? Nothing changes here, guys. This is the broken record in me. Why do you want to own a business? What's the goal? Setting the expectation. There's an investment. There's risk. What are you getting to know you? What are your skill sets? What are you looking to achieve? That's where you start. You don't look at the franchises out there. You don't look at the top 500 lists. You can for fun. That's what I did. I still have the copy of my 2006 Entrepreneur magazine. We had their current editor-in-chief on the show not too long ago, Jason, and we kind of talked about that list, and it's helpful, but which is actually a fit for me. If I can only run this thing part-time, that may eliminate half the list. And I want to be located in so-and-so, New Jersey, that may eliminate another half of that remaining list because of availability. So these are all things to consider. So instead of looking outward online, look inward, figure out why you want the business and figure out what this business looks like. In a perfect world, not it depends. In a perfect world, do you have a lot of employees or would you like to keep it to less? We'll say under 10, maybe even under 5. Do you ever need a brick and mortar location or you prefer to work from home, a home service business? That doesn't mean your clients and customers come to you, but you're going to the homeowner, fixing and offering a home service. You're going to the business and offering a coaching service or expense reduction. I'm here to help in figuring out and breaking down if a franchise is a good fit and where to start, figuring out, again, reflecting inwards as to what are the things to consider. That's the homework. Everyone asks on the first call, what's the homework? Reflect inward, figure out what this business looks like, and we can work from there. Coaching. And part of our coaching is getting through fear and doubt and things like that. And part of that is just walking you through of what a franchise truly is. What are the risks involved? There's a risk involved with the franchise. Absolutely. There's a lot of things we can control, but there's a lot of things we cannot control. We can't control the economy. We can control our attitudes. We can control our dedication to the business. We can't control tariffs. We can't control AI. We can accept it. We can work with AI, incorporate into the business. But fear takes off, and we just did an entire episode on 15 fears and concerns that we should try to link here to this episode. But those are things to consider as well. But fear is kills a lot of deals. And I think part of fear and anxiety is that people don't go far enough. I had someone that was very fearful after the first call with the franchise. They had a million questions. And I laughed and said, that's completely understandable. And they said, what do you mean? I'm thinking about maybe passing on franchising. And I said, you don't know what you don't know. You don't know much about the brand. You haven't talked to franchisees. You don't know what the average day in a life is. You had a 30-minute call, intro call. You know what the company does. You had a general overview, but there's so much more to learn. Take the time to figure out what the franchise offers. What's the day in a life? What's your role? What's the expansion strategy of the brand? What's the exit strategy of the brand? Those are things to consider. So people are just getting engulfed with fear and anxiety. Go old school. Get a piece of paper. Write down your questions and concerns. Check them off. Every call, I guarantee you're going to get your questions and concerns for the most part answered, and there's going to be a new list. That's okay. That's progress. Sometimes we spend 2-3 calls on a franchise to decide not to move forward. That's not a step in the wrong direction. It's not even a step back. You're making progress. You got to realize I prefer brands in B2B. I'd rather have these longer relationships, these maybe senior care, these referral offerings in water and smoke damage with the plumbers and insurance companies. So you make progress, start to learn the things you like, the things you don't like. So those are some things to think about. Success patterns from top franchisees. Man, this starts in the very beginning. It's the attitude of not if this is not going to work, this is going to work. End of story. No plan B. You're going to make this work. But I'm also going to make this work by having a positive attitude and following the system. If I'm in trouble, I don't understand something, I need recoaching, not feeling bad, going back to the franchisor, asking for help, asking for recoaching and training and things like that. But those are some success patterns of franchisees. They network, they grow, they expand, they talk to other fellow franchisees. These are all patterns. It's not just getting in a rut, things aren't going well, and talking to a few others that are having the same issue. It's getting back to the franchisor and saying, hey, we're stuck here. Can we do a call? We need some assistance. The marketing isn't working. Maybe it's not working in our market, or it is, but my salesperson isn't closing. So is it the salesperson or is it the quality of lead? What other services can we offer down the road, kind of increasing the level of services? Success patterns are people that really just stay positive and follow the system, not just try the marketing for a day and then, or a month, and then from there kind of giving up on the marketing, staying with it, making it work, giving it a shot. Giving it a chance. I'm going to drink here. Mistakes that could have been avoided. Some people I talk to will say, hey, you know what? I bought the franchise. It's not working. They may be a little bit sour on franchising. And I'll ask what happened. And I'll talk to them about how they picked the brand. People have been successful with this brand. I thought I'd give it a go. They didn't do much due diligence. They didn't do any of the front work that we do in the first couple calls. And they kind of rushed through and purchased a franchise. Rushing those decisions doesn't help the cause, right? You need to spend time. I talked to one gentleman. I asked, how many franchisees did you speak with? I spoke with one. I talked to another. They spoke with none, which is kind of interesting. Typically, the franchisor should be making that readily available to you. But again, not every franchise has the same systems. They're not all built the same. But not speaking with franchisees, big mistake. And not doing your due diligence, speaking with the franchisor, going to validation, rushing the process. These are all mistakes. Yes, you want to get into a business. Yes, you want to change your environment, your situation, or what have you. But you don't want to rush it. You want to make sure the fit's there, and you want to make sure that this is something sustainable, not something that will do well. So it may be you love the brand and everything about it, but you want to learn about this brand. I don't know, sells cookies and sweets and things like that. So what does that market look like? What's the saturation of the market? What do they tend to do? What are the multiples on the exit? You're going to be doing outside research at an industry level. You're also going to be looking at competition. What are the other competitors in there? What does it look like? What are their profit margins? I definitely can help in those areas. And a lot of it is not by listening and how to avoid the mistakes. It's by saying, some people, they demand, I want to talk about brands in the first call, and we don't change our process. Our process is simple. Let's figure out the match. If there's a brand you really like, let's talk about what you like about the brand. Is it the logo, the branding? Do you like the sandwich that franchise provides? Let's figure out what's the role of the franchisee. Does that match with what you're looking for? You're a customer of the service. Again, love the service, but does that match what you're looking to create here? Because keep in mind, when you launch this business, you're going to be really hands-on. But as you fast forward a year or two, your role in a lot of these franchises, believe it or not, is going to be very similar. It's going to be oversight of the business. You're not providing the service, scooping the ice cream cone, ripping out the mold in the basement. A lot of it's going to be working with the staff, weekly meetings, vendors, working with the franchisor, deciding if you want to pick up additional territory, add complementary brands, working with the financial advisor, the accountants and things like that, LLC, S corps, all that high level stuff. A lot of the roles of the franchisees end up being very similar, believe it or not, in different industries, from ice cream, pet waste removal to business coaching. But you'll be shocked at how similar some of these roles end up being, not initially, but a year or so down the road. And last piece on this, and to kind of round out the series here, is your path is unique. Everyone's situation is different. Our process does not change because the process works, but everyone's situation is different. I'm the only income earner in the house. I don't know what would be other. I had a partner, and that partner left. I have a certain monthly bills that I have to kind of have. We had some health issues in the past, or whatever the case may be. Everyone's situation is different. And when you Google things, sometimes it's generic advice as to what to do. Our process doesn't seem, I don't think our process is generic in any way. It is proprietary in how we do things. And it's the way I approach any business investment, any decision, kind of working in reverse. What's the end result? What am I trying to accomplish here? But sometimes Googling it, you'll get, what are the top franchises? It'll give you the top franchises, but how does that fit your criteria? As I mentioned, via the role, via the investment, via the availability. Are they even registered in your state? You may be in a registration state like New York, and it's not available, but it's available in New Jersey. I'll just buy in New Jersey. You can't do that. That's based off of where you reside. So these are some additional coaching and the things that we talk about. If you want to avoid these pitfalls and get on the right track, it starts with a 20-minute call. ggthefranchiseguide.com. You can book that call. We'll figure out together if a franchise is a good fit. Second call, we'll create and look at what this franchise opportunity ideally looks like, checking off all, not some, but all the boxes, as well as reviewing funding options. And then finally, our third call is we put it all together. We'll look at franchise brands, 2 or 3 brands that match that model. We'll make introductions directly for you, and we'll talk weekly and coach you through the process, making sure you're asking the questions to the franchisee, to the franchisor. And then at the end of the day, you are the driver. You're behind the driver's seat. You're steering that car, that vehicle, and that decision is up to you. Yes is a decision. No is a decision about moving forward, but you want to be well-informed, have a great understanding, and know exactly what the role is of the franchisee, and have trust at the end of the day. Let's not lose sight of it's a franchisor. It's a 5, 10, 20-year agreement. So we want to make sure that we trust that franchisor. They're going to be supporting us and everything else. These are all important, as my camera goes nuts again over here. But let me know how we can help. I keep mentioning my website. The FAQs will further help. These podcasts, I think, could help. The book, you name it. If you just want to chat and dive right into it and save yourself all that time, more than glad. Let us know. Book a call. Send us comments. Send us DMs, emails. We read them, respond to them all. And if you have a idea or topic for a future episode, let us know. We're always looking. I'm making the show to document and help people as best we can. But if there's a specific topic that either we haven't talked about, or maybe it's been a while since we reviewed, let us know. Sometimes there are updates, sometimes they're not. But yeah, we're excited. We're going to be in Cincinnati next month. We're going to be meeting with over 120 franchise companies, a lot of founders and CEOs. If you have questions you'd like me to ask at that meeting, and then do a summary show, I'll be more than glad to do that. I plan on doing that later in July, mid to end of July. Thanks again for listening. Thanks again for your questions. Hopefully this is all helpful, and we'll talk to you guys soon. Take care. See ya.
Thanks for tuning in. If you want to learn how to make the transition from corporate to owning your franchise, join Giuseppe on the next episode. You can also follow on all social media platforms and achieve financial and time freedom today.